Hello, and welcome to the Student Organization Recognition Fall Meeting, which is a required step of the annual Student Org recognition process. I'm Liv Allen, Program Specialist for Involvement, and I'm going to walk you through today's agenda, updates, reminders, and helpful tips to get you started this fall semester. So today we're going to chat through recognition status, steps and deadlines, policy notes and updates, the involvement fair, additional trainings and resources for student org leaders, and the events and connect overview. Our first topic is we just want to say a reminder to the status, steps, and deadline of our annual recognition process. For a lot of you, this might be the last step needing to be completed in order to get recognized, but we do encourage you to double check your org status. So as a reminder, all forms and directions and links to steps can be found at tinyurl.com/orgrec2324. And if you want to check out what might be missing or what is completed for your organization, you can go to tinyurl.com/orgstatus2324. And you will refer to column C if there's anything that is left incomplete. The final deadline for org recognition is Friday, September 8th by noon, so that first Friday of classes. If you have any questions about any of the steps, please contact us at involvement@uww.edu. So why we're going through this process and why we require the fall org rec meetings is because we go through specific policies that are really important to student orgs. And as a reminder, as a president or a leader of your organization, you are responsible for upholding your members and group accountable to the campus policies and expectations. So we wanted to chat briefly on some of what those frequently used policies are for student organizations. We won't go through all of these, but we want to make sure that y'all are aware that there are policies out here regarding the following topics: fundraising, sales and solicitation, food, tabling, posting, protest guidelines, events, and there is a UC facility use policy, potluck policy, our annual recognition policy, student org misconduct policy, anti-hazing, and youth protection and compliance. Of course, there are a lot more campus policies than this, but these are the ones, again, that we see our student orgs frequently using as they do the work of their org. Where can you find these policies? A lot of them are linked directly on our Connect homepage, so uww.edu/connect, under the Resources tab. If they aren't linked directly under that Resources tab, you can go to the Student Org Leadership Guide listed as second under the Resources tab, and you can find all those policies listed in that Leadership Guide. Some policy reminders for fundraising. A lot of groups do baked good fundraiser, and maybe they're tabling in the UC for that. But just a reminder that baked goods can be homemade or store-bought, but they must be pre-packaged prior to selling them or fundraising. Pre-sale food is also allowed if they are individually packaged. Another type of fundraising we see a lot are raffles, and raffles are controlled by the state of Wisconsin. So any raffles happening must be reported to the state of Wisconsin. The good news is that our department, Activities and Involvement, has raffle licenses for you to use if you are fundraising for your organization. So if the money's going to your organization, you can contact us and you can utilize our raffle license that we renew every year for y'all. If you are doing a fundraiser for your org that the money is actually going to, let's say, a nonprofit agency, right? Then you would have to use that nonprofit's agency's license. So it depends on where the money's going. If it's going to your org because you are a student org of University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, you can use ours that's held within our department. But if the money is going to a nonprofit organization or another sort of organization off campus, you would have to use that organization's raffle license. In terms of policy reminders for potluck, we're going to walk through this graphic, but it's a great resource to utilize it to make sure that you are hosting a potluck, and if not, you'd have to use the food policy. So in order to ensure that you're hosting a potluck, you must answer yes to all of the following questions. If there is a single no, one or more no's, then you are not hosting a potluck and you would have to refer to the food policy. So the first question to ask yourself is, will food be prepared by current group members? Second question is your event free to all participants? Third, will those attending all be current members of your organization? 4, will those be attending be affiliated with the university? And 5, will you follow the health and safety guidelines as outlined at the link below? We do want to touch base on some of these questions. That third question of all those be current members of your organizations, that does not include potential members. So it has to be all current members. So that therefore you can't host a potluck in terms of an event that might be for recruitment purposes of new members or prospective members. Current members, though, does include your campus advisor, and affiliation with UW-Whitewater means an employee or student of UW-Whitewater, but because of the question prior, that employee or the student must be considered a current member of your group, as determined by your group. If you need more clarification, you can contact Kim Clarkson, as she is our office's policy professional and guru. In terms of the food policy, we'll walk through this helpful infographic. So the first very question is recognized student organization or campus department. Y'all are doing this as a recognized student organization. So the first true question you ask yourself is if the event you're hosting is public or private. So public means open to anyone and private means current members only. If the event is public, so if we're looking at that left-hand side of the infographic, you then ask yourself if it's an on-campus or off-campus. If it's on campus, you must use university catering if it's a public event. If it's an off-campus public event, you can use a third-party food vendor. Now, if we look at the right side, if it's a private event, so private meaning members only, you then ask yourself, is it off-campus or on-campus? If it's a private members only event and off-campus, you can use that third-party food vendor. And then this is where an additional step comes in if it's on-campus private event. So if it's an on-campus private event, so members only, you then have to ask yourself, is the food expenditure or donation value more than $200? If it's less than $200, you can again use that third-party campus food vendor. But if it's on campus members only, and it is more, the value of the food is more than $200, you must use university catering. Again, we're here to help you, so if you do have any questions on the food policy, please contact us. Moving on from policies, we do want to just make sure that all student orgs are aware of the involvement fair occurring on Wednesday, September 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Signups are still available at that tiny URL listed in that first bullet point. It officially closes, the sign-up officially closes on Friday, September 8th, but it will close earlier if full. We'll just then make it more of a wait list for anyone in case there's groups that drop out. As a reminder, student orgs must be recognized at table. And if you do have any questions, you can contact our graduate assistant for involvement who's hosting and planning the event at involvement@uww.edu. If you're unsure if you've already signed up, you can also ask that same question to involvement@uww.edu. Some org support dates that we want to highlight for y'all. Friday, September 8th, of course, is our student org recognition deadline, which closes at noon. But we do also that same day have SOUP authorized vendor training in UC 261. There's 2 sessions being held at noon and 1:30. SOUP authorized vendor training is for any group who is funded by SEG fees allotted by SUFAC. In order to spend those fees that you were allotted, you must have at least one member in your group deemed and gone through the authorized spender training. You won't be able to spend money on behalf of your group until that member has gone through that training. For those interested in learning more about the segregated fees, we are hosting a SUF 411, so some general information, on Friday, September 15th, located in UC 68 with 2 sessions, either at 11 or 1:30. And that's just for groups wanting to learn more about what segregated fees are, if they're eligible, how to apply, information like that. Another set of org support dates are our fall org support series lineup. These happen about once a month or twice if it's at the end of the semester, as a way to help student org leaders get together, collaborate, discuss common problems they're solving, but also get the resources and support, addition to what they have already gone through. So our first one is Tuesday, September 19th at 3:30 p.m. in the Mohawk Connection Center, with additional things to know, so more resources for y'all to be successful for your org and events throughout the year, as well as an org leader social. So we'll be celebrating all the orgs, giving y'all a chance to discuss and talk with each other, and also have some food to help with that as well. Tuesday, October 17th is about surviving leadership, so giving leaders tools and resources for themselves, but also helping them get the support if they recognize members in need, in crises or need as well. November 14th is about getting noticed, so any of that way to promote your org, recruit, things like that, will be held in the WCC as well. And then finally, our last fall org support series is Tuesday, November 28th, and that's celebrating and collaborating. So celebrating our org leaders, and then offering chances for y'all to collaborate with each other, with other student orgs. This was shared in the student leader certification training y'all went through, but we just wanted to remind you as we kicked off the semester is that we want to make sure students can participate in all events. So if you have a member that needs an accommodation due to disability, please contact us or for the Center for Students with Disabilities so we can make sure we can help you with that. There is a SUF SEG fee ADA account that can help pay for additional expenses that might be created to making sure that all members and students can participate in your org's events. And one of the final resources and additional support we wanted to highlight today before we move on to Connect and events is that we're bringing back Orgs of Excellence. Orgs of Excellence is a program designed to celebrate and encourage student orgs and their leaders to do what they should be doing already. So, as a way to incentivize groups that meet that standard, we are offering the following. And what you'll do is you'll be earning it, so you'll be accomplishing the steps and the tasks needed this year. And if you've met all those requirements, then your group gets the following perks for next year, so for next fall. One of those perks is priority spot at the fall or spring involvement fair, recognition during the annual involvement awards ceremony with campus leadership, recognition on activities and involvement, social media, and newsletters, and one of the following that your group will pick out from, either $50 in promo items, $50 in catering, or 50 color copies. And how you earn that, again, it's majority of doing what you're supposed to be doing in order to get your org out there, so celebrating that, but then also encouraging the leaders of the groups to get more development and support by attending those org support series. So the first requirement is to be recognized for this current academic year, 2023-24. You must be recognized for the next academic year. So in order to utilize those perks, you got to be an org, a recognized org next year. You have to host either a fall or spring involvement fair table this year. an officer, and it doesn't have to be the same one, it could be multiple, attends 4 org support series hosted either this fall or spring. So it can be in person, but we know that not everyone can attend those. So we will have e-leaves, which is our video-based trainings, available for those specific topics about 2 weeks after each event. So there'll be digital makeup versions available for the events, but we do want to just highlight the added perk of going in person, right? So when you get to this talk and learn from other org leaders and what they're going through, but you also get the chance of, typically we have some extra support or resources attached to the in-person events. So whether that's food, as we do the org leader social and doing that more of that mixer, hot appetizers, things like that, or we might have other resources that are and perks attached to each event that we'll make available leading up to those. So again, these are 4 for the fall, but we will additionally have more for spring that we will announce closer to. So again, you just have to come to about 4 or do the video training after the event of about the 8 that we'll have all year. And then finally, again, we want to make sure we're celebrating and recognizing your org's hard work. So the final requirement is to apply to at least one org involvement award, and you must be fully eligible and complete that application in order to meet that requirement. For more details, and as we provide the spring lineup for org support series, you can go to the tinyurl.com/UWW-orgsofx for more information. Our last area of today's agenda is going through Connect, specifically the Events tab. Events, we're really strongly encouraging orgs to put their events on Connect for many reasons. One, it's a way to promote what your org is doing that's completely free. So when a student asks what events are going on around campus, we will often encourage them to go to the uww.edu/connect events tab to see what current events are happening around campus. So if your student org events are happening or are on there, whether it's your general member weekly event, or if you're hosting a little bit bigger of an event, they will be able to see that. An additional way that events are promoted through Connect is that new this year, on every table in the UC, there's a big sticker, circle sticker, with 3 QR codes. One of those QR codes is highlighting student org events, and if people scan that QR code to learn more about student org events, it will take them to this uww.edu/connect events page. So another great way to have free promotion of what's going on in your group. Additionally, on the administrative side, not only is creating events for your group on Connect beneficial for the promotion side, but it's also a wonderful way to take attendance and keep track of that attendance. So we wanted to highlight the different views, right? So that top screenshot is just a general public-facing view, but when you are a student org leader, specifically president, you do also have that admin dashboard view, which is on the bottom screenshot. To get to that admin side, you log in on the upper right. Once you log in with your campus credentials, you'll hit that upper right icon again and hit admin, which will take you to that bottom screen. Once you get into the admin side, you can create events by doing the upper right plus sign, or just going straight to the events tab in the admin side and hitting the upper right plus sign. As you can see on the bottom screenshot in the upper right, you can create events through there. And then once an event is created, there's a lot of different ways to be able to take attendance. The first one we want to highlight, though, is making sure that you know the event pin. So every event has a pin that's accessible to them an hour before the event, all the way through an hour after, where no matter how many people download the app, they can also help take attendance. So it doesn't just have to be the one admin person who created the events. Other people can help as well. So to be able to take attendance on your phone, you can do so by downloading the Modern Campus Presence app, and we recommend doing that so you can walk through along with me as I go through the following screenshots. This PowerPoint and screenshots will be added to the org-rec landing webpage at the very bottom, so you can refer back to them as much as you want to at that tinyurl.com/org-rec2324. It's going to be at the bottom of that landing page for org recognition. So as people download the app, and again, you can have as many org leaders, org members download the app, the Presence app, to be able to help take attendance. You would either go to the events at the bottom right-hand corner, or if you tap the menu at the top left, you can do collect attendance. So if you are logged in with your campus credentials on the app, you can simply go to the events tab and hit the plus arrow to the right of the events that you're an admin for to take attendance. If you aren't logged in or don't have admin rights to that event, you can do so by putting in the PIN under the Host Events tab. And again, you would grab that PIN from when you created that event. So you could have all of your org leaders download the app and just type in the PIN, and you can have 10 people taking attendance, or you could have a single person taking attendance. Once you get that event pulled up to track attendance, you can do so from a variety of ways. What our campus is able to do is either through the manual entry or barcode entry at this point. So if you're doing manual entry, you would click that manual entry button, and you could then either enter the student's email address, campus email address, or their student ID number. The next option that our campus allows for is the barcode option. So that's where you can scan the Hawk card of students. That depends on which batch of Hawk cards are printed, because some the ink isn't differentiated enough. But you can use that to scan the barcode, or if members have the app on their phone, they can actually go to that top left menu and have their QR codes shown that you can scan as well. Once the event is done, there are a lot of great data and tracking opportunities for it as well. So again, you can take attendance 1 hour before the event starts, all the way through 1 hour post the event. And once you have attendees, you'd go back on that administrative side on Connect, uww.edu/connect. You'd hit the attendees tab, and from there, as what's seen, we'll have a listing of all the attendees. And if you look at the right drop down, you can either email attendees directly from this Connect listing, but you can also invite or add all the attendees as members of your organization. You can export the list as an Excel, and you can also add additional attendees that might have come late that you didn't get a chance to scan, or didn't have their Hawk card and didn't know their email address and didn't know their ID number. So additional way to add attendees, but also to collect that data and really have it make it accessible to all of your administrators in your organization as well. Again, we're here to help, whether it's with policy, with org leader support, with Connect support. We're happy to come talk to your org e-board, let's say, to go through this event section, or talk about other maybe topics that your group is going through. But we're also happy to have you join our office too. So you can visit us in activities involvement at our front desk at DUC 146. You can also reach out by email, phone, or by scheduling appointment through involvement@uww.edu, or by calling at 472-6217. And again, we just want to highlight that this PowerPoint and the resources shown will be found at the bottom of the student org recognition landing page at tinyurl.com/org-rec2324. Thank you so much for your work as a student org leader and the year to come with supporting your org and its members. We are here to help. As a final reminder, we look forward to kicking off the school year with you. Thank you. Have a good day.